What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Jaime Dee Show. Woo! Live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. PST out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and live in Chicago, Illinois from 12 p.m. until 1 p.m. CST. We're also live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at the Jaime Dee Show. That's TheJaimedeshow. A real live morning radio show. What's up, everybody? Welcome. It's an absolute pleasure to have you all listening in. If you're in your car, thank you for listening. And if you're live on the streaming platforms, I truly appreciate you. Remember, you can always comment live and I will acknowledge your comments, but you're also able to call in at 702-221-7283. Again, that's 702-221-7283 if you want to get into the conversation that we're currently having. All right, let's get into the show rundown. I'm going to go over the daily news, and then we're going to have a conversation on judging an entire demographic based off of one person's actions. Yes, let's get into that, because I feel that a lot of times people, and sometimes we do this as well because we're human, we judge an entire group because of one experience we had with one person from that group. And I want to get into that. I want to dive deep into that because there's a lot of crazy crap we got to get into. All right. As posted by Hollywood Unlocked, state officials approved the extensive use of cutting-edge filtration and treatment facilities to turn sewage waste into potable water that can be poured straight into networks that connect to millions of homes through taps. Wow. The technologies capable of recycling wastewater for human consumption have come a long way in recent years. Once dismissed as the controversial concept of toilet to tap, these advanced filtration and treatment processes have gained greater acceptance as California faces worsening drought cycles due to climate change. According to Reuters, adopting these technologies represents a significant breakthrough in water conservation efforts. The regulations adopted by the State Water Resources Control Board have been in the making for over a decade. They provide a framework for the safe and widespread use and recycled wastewater for drinking. By reclaiming and treating the hundreds of millions of gallons of waste discharge that currently flow out to sea, Californians aim to use its limited water resources better. Some communities have already been implementing a practice known as indirect potable reuse for years. This involves blending highly purified wastewater into aquifers and reservoirs before using it as a drinking water source. Now, I definitely want to know what you guys think about this, because personally, it sounds disgusting. It really does sound gross. However, there's also so much other nasty crap that's in our water before it gets filtered and put back into our tap. So I want to know, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this would be a bad thing, a good thing? Or do you think this is just plain disgusting? I want to know what you guys think, because I feel as though that if this filtration is really good, really good, it could be a good resource, especially since there are a lot of cities out there and a lot of states that deal with drought. And even, let's say, for example, this may not be water for us to drink. Maybe they could use this as reservoir water to fight forest fires. There's a lot of fires that go in and out of California every year. So, maybe that could be a resource as well. Like, use sewage water to put out fires. I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Let me know. All right, let's get into this next news. The Neighborhood Talk stated that an Atlanta lawyer has been found guilty of defrauding the federal government in a PPP loan scam. How much? More than $7 million. What makes it even worse is that she used the funds for the silliest things: a pink wrap Rolls Royce car, a motorcycle, and a 10-carat diamond ring for $148,000, among other things. According to the AJC, Robertson was caught exaggerating the number of employees she had working for her business. She blamed the faulty PPP loan application on her personal lawyer, Chandra Norton, who pleaded guilty in a separate prosecution. Robertson was found guilty on 3 counts of wire fraud and single counts of money laundering and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. She was out on bond, but was quickly locked up following her guilty verdict. Sentencing is set to take place April 11th of next year. If you did a PPP loan scam, don't think you got away with it. They are coming. They really are, y'all. If y'all did this PPP, y'all gonna be in jail expeditiously. All right, as written by the Neighborhood Talk, police in Georgia are searching for a woman who stole money out of a Waffle House register after she pretended to be a waitress for 2 whole hours. According to Fox 5 Atlanta, the woman entered a Riverdale, Georgia Waffle House with her work attire on, seeming like she was about to start her shift. Police say she pretended to work for 2 hours before she dipped her hands into the register and stole an undetermined amount of money. Once she got the money, she fled the scene, y'all. Right now, there are no leads on her whereabouts, but police have surveillance pictures of the suspect. It's unclear if she's working inside the restaurant alone or with others, but it's hard to believe that none of the other workers realized she didn't work there. Wow. All right, guys, that's the news for this segment. I know we do have somebody on the line right now. I don't want to get them to actually come on in. Y'all, it's Christmas time, and we are live on air. So let's go ahead and check. Do we have Fernando on line 1?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear us, Fernando? Did we lose him? Hey, if we lost him, we may have lost him. But hey, Fernando, if you're
Hello?
Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, Fernando, can you hear us? All right, we're going to go ahead and pot that down and try to get him back on for the next segment. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have some more daily news. I don't want you guys to go anywhere because we got a lot to talk about daily news and what happens when you stereotype a whole demographic based off of one person's actions. Don't go anywhere. We got some more daily news, and maybe Fernando can call back. We'll get those phone lines fixed, all right? This is the Jaime Dee Show live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. PST and live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at the Jaime Dee Show, a real live morning radio show. Stick around. I'll be right back.
Is your dog suffering from a sensitive stomach? Hi, it's Kelly the Cookie Lady from Mooch's Munchies. Our dogs had super sensitive tummies, and I needed to find a low-fat treat that wouldn't give them gas or other issues. Most of the treats on the market were loaded with fillers, chemicals, and chicken fat. Many of them weren't even food. Well, I knew I could do better, so I developed Mooch's Munchies, and I'm happy to be able to share them with you. Stop by our store or our website, moochesmunchies.com, and find out why we say that Mooch's Munchies are totally pawsome.
Hungry for the best barbecue in Las Vegas? Come out to the infamous barbecue and meat market, John Mole's Meats and Roadkill Grill in Las Vegas. John Mole's was featured on the Food Network's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Now take home delicious meat selections for your grill, and while you're there, grab a bite of the best barbecue in Las Vegas. With 2 locations now at Tom and Gowan or on North Decatur, you're sure to find the perfect meats for your next barbecue or party. Find us online at johnmolemeats.com.
Welcome to Hash House A Go-Go, where we've been serving farm food and crafted cocktails for over 2 decades. Visit us for the full Hash House experience at any of our 5 Las Vegas locations. Hash House A Go-Go is where old school meets new and gets twisted. We bring people together over good food and fun. Come in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and come hungry because our portions are huge. Visit us online to see our entire menu at hashhouseagogo.com. Hash House A Go-Go. It's a Midwest thing, and there's nothing else like it.
Hey, 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 hey. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Jaime Dee Show. Woo! Live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. PST out of Las Vegas, Nevada. And now in Chicago, Illinois from 12 p.m. until 1 p.m. CST. We're also live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at the Jaime Dee Show. That's TheJaimieDeeshow. All right, if you're just not tuning in, we're still going over some daily news. Now, per the Neighborhood Talk, a Ukrainian village counselor detonated hand grenades inside of a meeting in an attack that was caught on camera and left 26 people injured, 6 of them in critical condition. According to the New York Post, the tragic incident took place Friday morning at the headquarters of the Village Council of Koretsky in Western Ukraine's Montness. I'm going to say this so wrong. Zachaparita region. I said that's so wrong, y'all. I'm sorry. The video released by the police came from a live video stream of the meeting provided by the town council on social media. The man walks into the meeting about 1.5 hours into the debate and just stood by the door before taking out the grenades out of his pocket. Shortly after, chaos erupts and the room can be seen going dark from all the smoke. Police haven't named who the man is, but a local newspaper reported that he is identified as Shahai Batran, a parliamentarian who is a member of the President Volodymyr Zelensky's Servant of the People Party. A lot of madness is going on in this world, y'all. Let's all pray. Again, this is reported by the Neighborhood Talk. I actually want to play this video so you guys can hear how all of this chaos sounded. When I tell you I was horrified by this video, I don't care what none of y'all say. I am not that desensitized because some of this stuff is scary. Take a listen.
45 тисяч потрібно, 45 тисяч. Чуєте, 45 тисяч. Чуєте, 45 тисяч нарахується в гумі. Умножайте мені на 14 місяців.
Може бути добрий, може я.
Ні, ну не помогайте людям. От дорогу чекай,
So I don't know if you guys were able to hear that, but they were in a heated debate, and then all of a sudden you just hear crack, boom, crack, boom, crack, boom. The man literally took out his pocket and just went boop, boop, boop. I just could never understand how somebody could be a martyr, but also how somebody could put other people in danger because of just malice, just straight malice. There are some people in power that I get, like, you're like, I really just hate how they think. They're so bad for our people. They're so bad for our community. We got to fight back. I get that. But there are also other people who are literally fighting for your rights, pushing to get you seen and get practical and respectful policies and laws put into place that are also present in those rooms. And you put those people in danger as well. It's just such a heartbreaking moment to be witness to just tragedy. And if anybody may have lost their lives, may they rest in peace. For those who are recovering, may they have a speedy recovery. And there's gonna be a lot of people who aren't gonna be able to recover. And that's just a sad truth. I'm praying for each and every person who was involved in this tragedy. As stated by It's On Site, prosecutors revealed that the alleged drug trafficker who invaded capture for 18 months was a vindictive dealer from the Bronx. Wow, I don't know why my mouth cannot say that. Again, as stated by It's On Site, prosecutors revealed that an alleged drug trafficker who evaded capture for 18 months was a vindicated dealer from the Bronx. He reportedly abducted and subjected at least 2 rivals to torture using a clothing iron to burn their buttocks, per the Daily News. And now I'm not laughing. I am laughing. I can't believe they out here torturing people still. I just don't understand the point of gangs. I think gangs are the dumbest things. The dumbest things. Like, and then it'd be the black people, it'd be us, it'd be our own people. What, like, for what? Okay, you own these 3 blocks, they own these 3 blocks, and none of that is actually owned by y'all. None of y'all got money into the property. None of y'all building on these properties. None of y'all building up y'all communities. Y'all out here fighting over imaginary districts and properties that y'all made up in y'all head for nothing. I'm sorry. So sometimes I just can't help but laugh. Court records revealed that the torture took place in a Bronx apartment basement where Jonathan Hortez and 3 others operated their drug business. According to the Bronx District Attorney's Office, Jonathan Hortas and his acquaintances allegedly subjected the victims to torture as punishment for stealing drugs from them last year. In a video, Hortas can be seen threatening a male victim who was restrained and scorching his bare buttocks with a heated iron. According to authorities, the victim was forcibly restrained and confined in the Morris Park apartment. Another video depicts a second victim receiving the same treatment. Prosecutors stated that Hortas and his associate Cesar Jimenez were captured in another video melting a plastic bottle over the initial victim's bare butts, allowing the melted plastic to drop onto the victim's cheeks. This is insane. Jimenez and 2 others were apprehended through searches and surveillance, where Hortas, age 31, evaded capture and remained a fugitive for 18 months. However, authorities eventually located and arrested him in Jalisco, Mexico, back in September, reports added. Officials stated that the audio and video recordings obtained from the cell phones and iCloud accounts documented parts of the kidnapping. It's not they use the iPhone. Oh my God, people are so stupid. Additionally, text messages from the suspect's cell phones revealed that Hortas and his group planned to kidnap a 3rd individual, but were unable to execute the plan. Reports conclude that Hortas has been charged with kidnapping, assault, trafficking, criminal possession of controlled substance, and conspiracy. This is insane. I really want our Black and brown communities to do better, to do so much better. Like, what is y'all fighting over? Okay, they stole your drugs. Okay, I get that pissed you off. But one, y'all pumping these drugs into our communities, and you're literally killing people. You're damaging communities. You're setting your own community back years upon years. You're getting your community strung out on drugs. You're scaring people. You're harming people, some innocent, some that you personally believe that deserved it. And it's just insane. None of this gang stuff matters. All this drugs y'all pumping into community is not helping you. It's not helping your family. And majority of the time, you believe that this is going to be your easy way out. And y'all, majority of the times, always get caught. Is it worth it to be a drug dealer? Is it worth it to be a gang affiliate? Is it worth it to continue to break down your communities for your come up? I just would never understand. If y'all disagree, let me know. Again, you can always call in at 702-221-7283. Again, at 702-221-7283. But I don't see the purpose of it. I don't see the purpose of gangs. I don't see the purpose of selling drugs in your own communities. I'm not saying go to anybody else's communities, but specifically your own communities. I never understand. A Cav on Instagram says, because of their views, I'll never understand it. And I agree. According to Center Square, Illinois, a publication meant for high-quality statehouse and statewide news, Illinois is one of the worst states in the country for social mobility, according to a new study. Wow. The fact that I'm reading this right now, and I've only been in Chicago for less than a month, is insane. There goes my hopes and dreams. The Archbridge Institute, a nonpartisan independent public policy think tank, released the report titled Social Mobility in the 50 States. Archbridge defines social mobility as the opportunity to better oneself and those around them in hope of living the American dream. To rank each state, Archbridge measured a series of indicators based on the 4 key pillars of entrepreneurship and growth, institutions and the rule of law, education and skills development, and social capital. Illinois ranked 40th overall in the 2023 Social Mobility Index with the lowest score in the East North Central region. The state ranked in the bottom 10 for predatory state action, so 49th, and taxes, 46th. Education quality and freedom, 12th, which is the only area where Illinois scores in the top half of the states. Quote, really where Illinois seems to be struggling in their entrepreneurship, is in their entrepreneurship and growth areas, which regards basically regulation, taxes, and a dynamic business environment, end quote, said research fellow Justin Colossus. Listen, I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, but I haven't actually lived in Chicago since 2012. That's when I graduated high school. And I don't know much about Chicago at this point, to be very honest. Like living in Chicago now is like living in a whole new city. There's so many different people that I've never met in my life in Chicago. My family's internal and external are all doing new things, different things, better things, worse things. And there's just so many more things to do in Chicago. So it's like I'm living a brand new life in a brand new city as a brand new person. So I don't really have much to say about that. I've only been in Chicago for the past 3.5 weeks. One of those weeks I was in London and in Paris. So it's really 2.5 weeks. And so, yeah, I mean, it's really funny. The next topic is about judging an entire demographic based off of one person's action. I'm high-key about to judge Chicago based off of what I hear, but what I heard is true. I don't know. As you all know, you can go to any city and make a way for yourself. You can always break a stereotype. You can always break through a barrier. You never know. I don't know, but I hope and pray that this study has absolutely no effect on me whatsoever, and I only get positive, succeeding, well-received energy from Chicago, because I deserve it. I've been through a lot in 2023, and in 2024 and beyond, I want to live an exciting, fun, prosperous, successful, sexy, adventurous life. I deserve it. I receive, accept, and claim that. All right, y'all, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to have a conversation on judging an entire demographic based off of one person's actions. Stick around, y'all. We're about to get really into it. We're about to really get into it. And remember, you guys are always welcome to call in at 702-221-7283. Again, 702-221-7283, or continue to comment live on the YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook stream. All right, y'all, I'll be right back. This is the Jaime Dee Show, live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. PST out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and live in Chicago, Illinois from 12 p.m. until 1 p.m. CST. We're also live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at the Jaime Dee Show. Stick around. We got a new social topic coming on up.
AR Heating and Air Conditioning, our main goal is to provide high-quality service without breaking the bank. From maintaining your HVAC units to fixing them when they are down, they are there for you. AR Heating and Air Conditioning offer reasonable prices, reliability, and professional service at a great value. For more information, go to fixmyac.net or call 702-646-4000. Beat the heat and call AR Heating and Air Conditioning today.
Zen World Premium CBD offers full and broad spectrum CBD oil, extracts, and capsules, which are designed to help you feel your best. Their products are sourced from the best organic hemp and natural ingredients on the market and are tested for quality, purity, and potency. They have a full range of items from health and wellness to beauty to pets. Call 725-205-9223. Visit online at zenworld.com or stop by their location at 9895 South Maryland Parkway and Silverado Range Parkway. Mention KSHP for 10% off in store or use code KSHP online for 15% off.
Is your dog suffering from a sensitive stomach? Hi, it's Kelly the Cookie Lady from Mooch's Munchies. Our dogs had super sensitive tummies, and I needed to find a low-fat treat that wouldn't give them gas or other issues. Most of the treats on the market were loaded with fillers, chemicals, and chicken fat. Many of them weren't even food. Well, I knew I could do better, so I developed Mooch's Munchies, and I'm happy to be able to share them with you. Stop by our store or our website, moochesmunchies.com, and find out why we say that Mooch's Munchies are totally pawsome.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Jaime Dee Show. Woo! Live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. PST, and live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and live in Chicago, Illinois from 12 p.m. until 1 p.m. CST. We're also live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at the Jaime Dee Show, a real live morning radio show. What's up, everybody? For those who are tuned into their cars right now, thank you so much for listening to my radio show. For those who are on the YouTube, who are on the Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, I really appreciate y'all. Welcome in. I see we got Sherry, we got It's Keedy, we got School. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. Charmaine, what's up? What's up, Char? What's up, Charmaine? Welcome in. I don't know why I like to say Sherry when it's a Shari. Charmaine, what's popping? And we got Kara out of Phoenix, Arizona. What's good? We got Backbreaker. Shout out to the members of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. I see my frat bros. All right, let's get into the social topic of the day. Judging an entire demographic based off of one person's actions. Yes, we're going to have this conversation live on the radio. Hey, Dominic, what's up? One thing I truly do hate is when someone tries to judge an entire demographic based off of one person in that demographic's action. Like, you don't know all those people. You just had one unfortunate experience with one person, but it doesn't mean everybody in that demographic acts the exact same way. I especially hate when someone likes to judge a demographic based off of what they heard others say. When I recognize that as an issue, I instantly stand up. I instantly stand up. Instantly. I don't know about y'all, but I do. What I usually say is, have you actually met most people in that community or in that space? Do you really know who they really are, what they really go through, how they have had to live their lives because of dumb people like you and more? And I always say that's rude. That's rude. That's negative. You shouldn't be saying stuff like that. You don't know those people. Just because you live a different life or you're part of a different demographic, you don't know. And you probably did with the exact same thing. So why are you being a minority against a minority? Now, if you're majority, listen, it might be a little different speech. I'm a huge advocate of sticking up for minority groups and demographics who don't have a big enough platform to defend themselves and fight negative biases. Now, I say all that, but I can be realistic too. Some stereotypes are in place because majority of people in that demographic do act like that at one point or another. Some stereotypes can be positive, funny, goofy, and others can just be negative and damaging to an entire community. You may have ran into 3 people in that community who act the same, but the 4th person may catch you off guard and throw you way off. This is why you should never walk into a situation, conversation, an event, or anything assuming you know what's going to happen or how people are going to present themselves. Period. You just never know. On top of that, just because a stereotype may be present, that doesn't mean everybody in that community wants to be identified with that stereotype. A lot of people work to break negative stereotypes and misconceptions about their communities. And when people like to continue to place them on people, that could be extremely damaging and stifling. Period. That's just how I feel. Because just because you think you know about a specific person doesn't mean that's actually true. And you're out here placing these lies on this person, placing these judgments on this person because of one experience you may have had or because of what you've heard from a different person. And that doesn't make it right. It doesn't. As well, let's be very clear that a lot of stereotypes were created by white people, white media, and white people in power to control minority groups. I say this all the time. Media as a whole, collective, controls way more in the world than we think they do. They love to pump certain images and stereotypes into our communities to get us to believe certain demographics are a certain way. And unfortunately, we believe that crap. The demographics that they're portraying fall for the mess because we start to believe it's true because we see it so many times over and over and over. And it gets us to become brainwashed to start acting that way. I mean, you see it often in many different communities. You can talk about the Black community. You can talk about the gay community. You can talk about the Asian community. You can talk about the Mexican community. If you look at social media and you truly study social media, let's take a step back. How do they view Black men and Black people in general? Aggressive, rude, can't not having the ability to control themselves. I mean, look at it. That's really how they present themselves. And yes, we do have more positive media, which I'm so grateful for, but it's definitely not as much as all the negative media out there. I mean, look how they portray gay people. They think all gay people are flamboyant, or all gay people are living double lives, or they're just super sexual. I mean, that you have to look at what media portrays people to look like. You know, they're never in relationships. They never could be in relationships. They're always living a struggling life. I mean, you have to truly sit down and see that there are people in power who are pumping out these specific images and ways of representing a group on purpose because people will actually believe that crap. That's why I'm a huge supporter of the positive representation of all communities being pushed through the media more than just once, more than just on a specific season. Yeah, you may see a great Black love story this year, but then you're going to see 10 horrible Black love stories after that. You may see a Black successful man who's not sexually objectified, but then you're going to see 18 other movies and 18 other TV shows where this Black man is sexually objectified and cheating on his wife and DL, living double lives, all these other crazy things. Yes, that is true. That stuff happens, but there are a lot more positive things that happen in our communities that don't get reported on, that don't get shown, that don't get put in our media, whether that's movies, TVs, on social media, and more. And even when there are people out there who try to push for certain platforms, sometimes they don't get enough sponsorship money. Sometimes they don't get enough exposure. And sometimes people are so used to seeing all the negative stereotypes that they just bypass that. Like, oh, that's gonna be boring, or oh, that's sappy. When we need to start seeing more stuff like that. We need to start supporting more positive imagery in all of our communities, because there's people in white communities, Black communities, Hispanic communities, gay communities, bi communities, trans communities who are living amazing lives, doing amazing things for themselves, and they should be shown, period. Like I said earlier, stereotypes were created by white people. They really were. That doesn't mean that all white people are bad. No, there's a lot of white people who fight against those stereotypes. There's a lot of people who march for the rights of all people. There's a lot of white people who are truly about equality for all. There are, but we got to be realistic and understand that it was made by those negative and hateful and harmful white people out there who just didn't want to see themselves not in power. It is what it is. It's the truth. It's the whole truth. That's why I believe everyone should have the chance to express themselves and create their own identity / perception of themselves before outside people decide to judge based off of irrelevant information, stereotypes, and biases. Personally, I deal with this all the time. People swear they know exactly. Let me start this over. Personally, I deal with this all the time. People swear they know exactly who I am after watching me on social media or even hanging out with me once, and it often bothers the crap after me. They see me as a social Black man who's a radio personality, and they think, yep, I know his type. Like, bruh, ew, no, you don't. Just because those radio personalities do what they do over there, or those Black men do what they do over there, does not mean you can put those things together and get what you think I'm doing over here. If you don't sit down and talk to Jaime Dee, have conversations, actually listen to my live morning radio show, see me outside of party events and spaces, you're not going to truly get to know who I am. You're not going to actually have a full grasp of who Jaime Dee is, period. I often get from new people who don't know me at all outside of my social media, and even certain, let me say this again, because I feel like I may have messed it up. I often get from new people who don't know me at all outside of my social media, and even certain family members and associates who have been in my space before, but only in a certain capacity because they don't do anything to branch out into other spaces of my life that they think they know exactly who I am. And it'd be those people who only know you on a base level because they partied with you before or watch you on the gram, who swear like, oh, I know who you are. I know what you be doing. I know exactly what type of personality you are. You don't. You don't. I get, oh, you're a partier. You're always outside. That's all you do is party. You be like, hey, bow, 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 turn up. And at first, they used to really piss me the hell off because for some reason, partying is associated with negativeness, such as you're a whore, you waste your money on dumb stuff, you have no self-control, you have no true depth, you're immature because you stay in the club and you're running from something. But now I just realize those people are jealous that they don't get to have as much fun as I do, and they don't have the same access to me as they thought they did. Those comments will also bother me because you can always tell when someone's coming from a negative, rude, and judgmental space. And I'm always like, okay, if you don't like to party, just say that. Nothing's wrong with that. Everyone has their own vice. If you find yourself using another outlet for your enjoyment, who gives a crap? Do you? If you like to go smoke crack rock, you go smoke crack rock. Jaime Dee out over here ain't smoking crack rock. If you like to go do pottery classes, if you like to go read books, if you like to go knit, if you like to do whatever you want to do, you do you. I don't care. And I'm not going to bring up you always do this because if I'm not hanging out with you, I don't care what you always do. I would only bring that up if it's like, I really want to see more of you because I actually care about you because I want to hang around you. But if I see that you're always partying, go right ahead. You know what's really funny too? I always get that comment from people who party way more than me. Now there's some people who don't party as much as me that say that, but I also get that comment from people who party way more than me. And I'm just sitting here just like, you be outside more than I do. Like, have you seen your bank statement? Have you seen your social media? Like, I just don't get it. I don't. And I would try to defend myself against those statements that all you do is party because truthfully, I actually do like to party. But I also like to work out, play sports, hike, because being active is really fun to me. I like to try new activities like pottery, art classes, food classes, wine classes, and more. Going to movies, road trips, staying in the house and watching TV / scrolling on social media, which is what I actually do more than anything else because I always don't want to be outside. Sit for hours on FaceTime with close friends, talking crap, and also about absolutely nothing. Doing media work, going to entertainment events. I love networking, meeting new people. One thing you can ask anybody, I love going for long walks. I really do. I love going for long walks on paths, through communities, having a good time, talking and enjoying the scenery. And yes, I do like partying, being social and more. That's just not all I do. Now, for the purposes of this example, I repeated that, but now when people hit me with that assumption that all you like to do is party, I just say, yep, I enjoy partying. That's one of my outlets. I'm just a fun person, and I'm glad that now, because you can, and I'm just a fun person, and I'm glad I do that. And now I'm glad that I say that when in face of that statement, because you can see that some people are shocked, like, damn, he actually wasn't affected by my subliminal shade, and he actually knows and loves himself. Crap. I really thought that me saying he parties all the time was going to get at him, but no, I mean, it doesn't. What I do in my life don't got nothing to do with you, and I'm going to keep doing what I want to do, period. Because sometimes people will stop after you just say, yep, I do, or they'll get offended that you hit them with the yep, and when they get offended, you realize that they have an internal problem that ain't got nothing to do with you. Maybe they should reach out to you more because, hey, they probably want to hang out with you and they feel like they can't talk to you, and that's their fault. Talk to yourself. Seek a therapist, because we was once cool. We went partying before. I guess we never did. And there's just some people too who've hung out with you before and they didn't like it, but they still want to see everything you're doing. They still want to be around your space. And that's weird to me. If I've hung out with you and I didn't get a good vibe from you, I'm not about to follow you. I'm not about to keep looking at what you're doing and how you're partying and reminiscing on how I had such a bad time with you. I'm just not. I'm not. But if you want to hang out with me, maybe you should reach out to me more to actually hang out with me and have fun with me. But you just be hanging from outside the club. Oh, well. Just like Big Jabs on Instagram said, period. I don't know what I could do for you. So I use my personal example because it goes to show how even assumptions about a person or community or what someone heard from another person or community can be damaging to that person or even misleading. And when you go by that, you may miss out on actually meeting and getting to know an awesome person. Now, I'm going to play this TED ED talk where they discuss if stereotypes can ever be good, because I want you guys to hear how they break this down. Let's take a listen and discuss if we agree or disagree with them. Pay attention.
In 2007, researchers surveyed over 180 teachers to understand if they held stereotypes about students from 3 racial groups. The results surfaced several negative stereotypes, labeling Black students as aggressive and stubborn, white students as selfish and materialistic, and Asian students as shy and meek. But regardless of the teacher's other biases, the most commonly held opinion was that Asian students were significantly more industrious, intelligent, and gentle than their peers. On the surface, this might seem like a good thing, or at least better than other negative characterizations. But treating the seemingly favorable stereotype as reality can actually cause a surprising amount of harm to those it describes, those it doesn't, and even those who believe it to be true. This image of humble, hardworking Asians is actually well known as the model minority stereotype. Versions of this stereotype emerged in the mid-20th century to describe Chinese Americans. But following World War II, the label became commonly used to claim that Japanese Americans had overcome their mistreatment in U.S. incarceration camps and successfully integrated into American society. Former incarcerees were praised as compliant, diligent, and respectful of authority. In the following decades, model minority became a label for many Asian populations in the US. But the truth behind this story of thriving Asian Americans is much more complicated. During World War II, the US government tried to Americanize incarcerated Japanese Americans. They did this through English language classes, patriotic exercises, and lessons on how to behave in white American society. When incarcerees were released, they were instructed to avoid returning to their own communities and cultural practices, and instead integrate into white society. But after decades of anti-Asian policies and propaganda, white Americans had to be persuaded that Japanese Americans were no longer a threat. So the government organized media coverage to transform the public perception of Japanese Americans from suspected traitors to an American success story. In fact, the phrase model minority was coined by one such article from 1966. But this article, and others like it, didn't just cast Asian Americans as an obedient and respectful model minority. They also criticized so-called problem minorities, primarily Black Americans. Politicians who were threatened by the rising civil rights movement used this rhetoric to discredit Black Americans' demands for justice and equality. They presented a fabricated story of Asian American success to paint struggling Black communities as inferior. This narrative put a wedge between Black and Asian Americans. It erased their shared history of fighting oppression alongside other marginalized groups and pit the two communities against each other. In doing so, the model minority myth also enforced a racial hierarchy, with white Americans on top and everyone else underneath. Certainly, many people who still believe the model minority stereotype, either consciously or unconsciously, might not agree with that idea. But comparing the imagined strengths and weaknesses of racial groups places value on how well those groups meet certain standards, typically standards set by a white majority. In this case, the model minority stereotype suggests that marginalized groups who are compliant, gentle, and respectful of white authority are deserving of tolerance, while groups that challenge the status quo are not. This stereotype also negatively impacts the Asian individuals it describes. According to a psychological phenomenon known as stereotype threat, members of a group often place pressure on their individual actions to avoid encouraging negative group stereotypes. But this phenomenon can occur around seemingly positive stereotypes as well. The pressure associated with living up to impossibly high standards can lead to poor performance. And teachers are less likely to notice when Asian students are struggling. Outside the classroom, social programs catering to Asian communities are frequently overlooked or cut because they're assumed to need less support than other disadvantaged groups. The favorable portrait created by this stereotype can also make it harder to recognize racially motivated violence and discrimination against Asian Americans. And since the stereotype carelessly groups all Asians under the same umbrella, it impacts people with various backgrounds and unique histories of discrimination. So while the model minority label might appear to benefit Asian populations at first, in practice, it works like every other racial stereotype. It reduces a group of people to a one-dimensional image. And that single image hinders our ability to understand the history, struggles, and triumphs of the individuals within that group. Acknowledging and challenging these labels is essential for building coalitions across communities and eliminating harmful stereotypes for good. To learn more about the history of World War II's Japanese American incarceration camps, click on the video on the left, or learn how stereotypes can lead to voter suppression with the video on the right.
So my thing is, I wanted to play that because I truly enjoyed what they said near the end. Racial stereotypes and just stereotypes in general reduces a group of people to a one-dimensional image, and that single image hinders our ability to understand the history, struggles, and triumphs of the individuals within that community. Acknowledging and challenging those labels are essential in building coalitions across communities and eliminating harmful stereotypes for good. Yes, and more yes. I'm ringing the bell because it is just pure facts and pure poetry. I believe it. So we're gonna take a quick break, have one spot for you guys so you guys can come back in. We want to talk to you guys about how this topic came up. So stick around. This is the Jaime Dee Show. I'll be right back.
Welcome to Hash House A Go-Go, where we've been serving farm food and crafted cocktails for over 2 decades. Visit us for the full Hash House experience at any of our 5 Las Vegas locations. Hash House A Go-Go is where old school meets new and gets twisted. We bring people together over good food and fun. Come in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and come hungry because our portions are huge. Visit us online to see our entire menu at hashhouseagogo.com. Hash House A Go-Go. It's a Midwest thing, and there's nothing else like it.
At AR Heating and Air Conditioning, our main goal is to provide high-quality service without breaking the bank. From maintaining your HVAC units to fixing them when they are down, they are there for you. AR Heating and Air Conditioning offer reasonable prices, reliability, and professional service at a great value. For more information, go to fixmyac.net or call 702-646-4000. Beat the heat and call AR Heating and Air Conditioning today.
Zen World Premium CBD offers full and broad spectrum CBD oil, extracts, and capsules, which are designed to help you feel your best. Their products are sourced from the best organic hemp and natural ingredients on the market and are tested for quality, purity, and potency. They have a full range of items from health and wellness to beauty to pets. Call 725-205-9223. Visit online at zenworld.com or stop by their location at 9895 South Maryland Parkway and Silverado Ranch Parkway. Mention KSHP for 10% off in store or use code KSHP online for 15% off.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Jaime Dee Show. Woo! Live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. PST out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and live in Chicago, Illinois from 12 p.m. until 1 p.m. CST. We're also live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at the Jaime Dee Show, a real live morning radio show. All right, so if you're just now tuning in, I went over some daily news, and we're having a conversation on judging an entire demographic based off of one person's actions. And just like Ted E.D. said, acknowledging and challenging those labels that are negative to our communities are essential in building coalitions across communities and eliminating harmful stereotypes for good. So this all came up came up because according to It's on Site, a well-known LGBTQ plus advocate in Philadelphia has been accused of sexually assaulting 2 minors, reports the NY Post. Kendall Stevens, a 37-year-old trans woman, was arrested and is facing charges of rape, involuntary assault, unlawful contact with minors, and indecent assault against 2 boys aged 14 and 9. The investigation into the alleged sexual assault began on September 25th after a grandmother reported that Stevens, who is a family friend, had sexually assaulted her grandchild. According to officials, Stevens is accused of abusing one boy on 3 separate occasions since 2022, starting when the boy was just 8 years old. Another victim came forward and told the police that Stevens had assaulted him as well. Investigators stated that Stevens had given the victim's gift unexpectedly, which the victim believed were meant to keep them quiet, according to court documents. Additionally, Stevens allegedly threatened one of the victims, saying that he would go to jail if he disclosed the abuse to anyone. Stevens made headlines last year when she was the victim of a hate crime and assault in her South Philadelphia home on August 24th, 2020. One of the attackers, Tanisha Waring, was sentenced to house arrest for her involvement. Stevens' experience as a survivor led her to become a prominent activist in her community, advocating for justice and safety for the LGBTQ plus community. Stevens is scheduled to appear in court on December 29th. Her bail has been set to $2,500,000, according to court records. Take a listen to this report. Take a listen to this report, and let's discuss if all transgenders are like this.
Now the details here. Philadelphia transgender activist identified as Kendall Stevens is now charged with sexually assaulting 2 children under the age of 13.
Action News reporter Annie McCormick, she's live for us outside police headquarters with the new details we're learning about this, Annie.
Yeah, Gray and Shari, disturbing details. Kendall Stevens was arrested today for the rape of a minor. Sources confirm that she is the same Stevens who is a prominent LGBTQ activist in the city. The state attorney general's office filed charges tonight against 37-year-old Kendall Stevens. The charges include the indecent assault against a person less than 13 years old, rape, unlawful contact with minors, sexual offenses, and endangering the welfare of children, parent, or guardian. Stevens came to Action News in August of 2020 after she was attacked in her Point Breeze neighborhood. She says she was targeted by a violent group for being a trans woman. Stevens then became a prominent activist for the LGBTQ community. She urged lawmakers to change Pennsylvania's hate crime statute to include protections for LGBTQ people. She is seen here in March of 2021 at a press conference launching District Attorney Larry Krasner's LGBTQ plus advisory board. The board was created in part to be a source of information and resources for victims and survivors of crime within the community.
It means to me that the transgender population will finally get the support that we need from city officials that we really haven't gotten historically.
Sources tell Action News the charges are in relation to the rape of 2 young boys under the age of 13. Stevens remains in custody tonight. A spokesperson for the district attorney's office said in a statement, the investigation of allegations against her is being led by another agency, and as such, we have no comment. Now, judge did set bail at $250,000. The next court appearance is scheduled for December 29th. Often, the state attorney general's office takes on cases from local district attorney's offices if there's a conflict. For now, reporting live outside of Philadelphia Police Headquarters, Annie McCormick for Action News at 10 on PHL 17. Gray and Shari.
Yeah, Annie, thank you. A story that we will stay on top of. Thanks for the update.
So this entire story bothers the complete hell out of me because you have so many things happening. It's unfortunate that this transgender woman was a victim of a hate crime, but then you also have a transgender woman who is allegedly, because I can't say anything until it's proven, a pedophile. And one thing that I do not condone is pedophilia. I don't care what community you're in. However, what I do not want to happen is people to believe that people in the LGBTQAI plus community are all pedophiles. I don't want people to believe that transgender people are pedophiles. There are pedophiles in all communities, white, black, Asian, Mexican, whatever, male, female. I don't want the community to take this as a story, because you know politics love doing this. Take this as a story, weaponize this, and make it out to seem like all transgender people are pedophiles, or all people in the LGBTQIA plus community are pedophiles, because that's just not plainly true. Period. It's just not. And if you look at statistics show that straight men are more pedophiles than any other demographic. Now, if you want to look into race, I'm gonna let y'all do that, because I don't want y'all to be calling my radio show yelling at me, but y'all be very surprised that it ain't this community. It really ain't the Black community. Check your stereotypes, check your statistics, and check yourself at the door. But I just don't want people to believe that because of one person's actions, that all people are like this or going to end up this way. Everybody has thoughts in their head that are driving them wild. It's 2023 and everybody's crazy at this point. But you cannot sit here and say, because of this awful, allegedly, transgender woman, that all people in her community are going to be the same. And I want you guys to do that. And I stand by that. All people are not the same. They're just not. All right, guys, this has been the Jaime Dee Show, live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. PST, live in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're live in Chicago, Illinois from 12 p.m. until 1 p.m. CST. We're also live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at the Jaime Dee Show, a real live morning radio show. If you want to promote your business, products, services, music, and more, hit us up at info@jaimedee.com. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.
What's up, everybody? You were just tuned into the Jaime Dee Show, live on KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM. If you aren't in the Las Vegas area, you can catch my show live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at the Jaime Dee Show. That's TheJaimeDeeshow. If you want to advertise your business on my show, email us at info@jaimedee.com. Thank you all so much for your support. See you tomorrow.